Okay, I guess Pratik is all yours. Yeah, I'm switching my stuff off. You can switch your own and go on with uh, this presentation.
Sure. So, first of all, thanks for having me, Anton. It is pleasure to be here and present what I do and show something about what I've done so far. So, hi everyone. My name is Pratik Dholakiya. I'm from Ahmedabad, Gujarat. That's in India. I've been into this field since 2007, and since then, this is the same field I've been into. So for today's topic, we would be going to discuss about how to do content marketing with purpose and direction. So the agenda behind this presentation is to show you how the content marketing can be done along with your purpose and direction. Uh, because content marketing can be done in any way you want, but if there is no purpose or direction, you would not be able to measure your output at the end. So that's what the agenda is about this presentation. So I'll just start with this from now. This is about a little bit about myself and my company E2M. So on the left side, you will see two things, which is I've been recommended as a must-follow SEO expert by Search Engine Watch and Analytica, which is a very popular form as to analyzing and finding out about who is doing what and who is doing how on the web. So they also recommended me as one of the 50 top content marketing influencers worldwide. About my company, they also recommended E2M as one of the top 100 content marketing brands worldwide. And Content Marketing Institute recommended us as one of the very popular content marketing agency across the globe. So that's a bit about myself and my company. Moving forward, a bit about where do I contribute and where do I publish about. So first thing that we have covered most of the popular platforms in the digital marketing industry, starting from Search Engine Journal, so Search Engine Watch, Moz, Search Engine Land, Marketing Land. Then I would move towards Fast Company, Entrepreneur. Then there are also a few more big names that I would share on a later stage, but these are the main platforms we have covered so far. Uh, so I'll start with the slides now, and we'll show you the entire presentation I've prepared for the content marketing. So this is the first slide about what is content marketing. So I'll walk you through two different definitions by two different well-known companies in the content marketing industries, and we'll let you know how they're different. So this is the first strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. So this is a definition of content marketing defined by Content Marketing Institute, which is one of the top company in the world that produces stuff about content marketing. So this is a little bit tricky when it comes to explaining someone about content marketing, where how it works, what it represents, and what are all things included within the content marketing term. So when I first read this, I got a feeling like this because I couldn't understand what exactly it wanted to explain as far as content marketing is concerned. So I moved to research a bit more and went ahead to find out a definition provided by Copyblogger, which is very easy to read and easy to understand, which reads like creating and sharing valuable free content to attract and convert customers. The type of content you share is closely related to what you sell. You're educating people so that they know, like, and trust you enough to do business with you. This is very easy to understand definition by Copyblogger, because this clearly tells you that you have to create and share valuable and free content that helps you attract your customers as well as convert them into your business. Uh, so I'll show you a practical example of what this means exactly, and how we have also done this in the past through our experience so far. So this is the first very popular content that we had published in the January of 2013. So the topic was Ultimate Guide to Advanced Guest Blogging. Now, when you call guest blogging in 2012 as well as 2013, the term was very popular, and it was like it was being used by a lot of companies, and a lot of new beginner people were looking at learning a lot of things about guest blogging. So at that time we had published this guide, which included a lot of detailed information as well as practical examples of how to do it, and till what level you have to go in order to get placed successfully at bigger sites like Moz, Search Engine Journal, as well as ProBlogger, as an example. Uh, Moving forward, so why I'm sharing this example is you will get to know a couple of slides later, but this is one of the content we had produced that helped us attract the customers as well as convert them into our regular ongoing clients. So that's why the example has been put together here. So, as a result of this post, so the post had 4,000 plus words. It attracted 38 links to Moz. It generated more than 240 comments. 133 thumbs up were received. 9 thumbs down, which is obvious. Some people would like your content, some would not. So that's about it. Talking about the topic, the post generated visits more than 32,000. Views were generated about more than 47,000. And average time on page was nearly 2 minutes, if you could count. The post also generated more than 1,000 tweets, 300 plus Google plus shares, and 40 plus Facebook likes. Now moving towards this next slide, it's about telling you the same definition by Copyblogger, which tells you clearly creating and sharing valuable free content to attract, convert customers. The type of content you share is closely related to what you sell again. You're educating people so that they know, like, and trust you enough to do business with you. So this is, if I go back to the more slide, you would understand now that we had produced valuable content which was free for everyone to consume, which was related to what we wanted to sell. So and through that post, people started knowing us, liking us, as well as they trusted enough, and then they started doing business with us. So I've highlighted the core words which you could look at, and this would tell you why this is more important as to understanding about content marketing and executing the same at the same time. Next thing is why should you do content marketing? So first, I've covered about what is content marketing and what sort of result it could bring you as to having content marketing as part of your strategy on a regular basis. So when you talk to your clients, or we also talk to our clients about content marketing, and then they would start asking us questions. What's some new in content marketing? Why we should do it? Or maybe they would tell us or ask us to justify why we should move from SEO or PPC or other areas, then moving towards the content marketing. So that would be their primary concern. So if we look at the statistics, then it looks like that appears in the current slide. 9 out of 10 organizations are currently doing content marketing. 80% of decision makers prefer information in the form of articles rather than advertisements. So, which is again a form of content where articles are placed. 78% of CMOs think content is the future of marketing. So, this is like The CMOs have started believing in the content marketing that it is going to be very, very beneficial to them on a longer term. And the decision makers also prefer that articles are better over the advertisements which they would give in online publications or as well as the offline publications. So next, moving, there's more statistics on this, which looks like 70% of customers say good content makes them feel closer to the brand. 20% of internet users' time spent is on content related to websites. B2B marketers are using an average of 12 different content marketing tactics. So again, like this new data has come up. So this again tells us more about why you should do content marketing, where 70% of customers are telling that good content is what they feel comfortable about when doing business with others is concerned, or when they want to talk to someone about doing business. And 20% of internet users' time is spent on content in the website. So even we are as common people, we also read a lot of content on a daily basis, even if even it is news. So we read news on a daily basis that is available on our website, which is easily consumable. Then B2B marketers are using an average of 12 different content marketing techniques. So B2B marketers like ourselves, so there are a lot of content marketing tactics being used online. So on an average, 12 content marketing tactics are being used by B2B marketers on a regular basis. So this is all about looking at the data on when you have to convince someone about content marketing, then why they should do it. But I would say that don't look at the data. As being content marketers yourself, or if you want to do content marketing, if you're not familiar with the content marketing, then looking at the data won't help you take the right decision, because you never know what kind of data is right, and or what to trust and what not to. So there's a reason why you should not look at the data, but you should rather think that a lot of companies are doing it, a lot of companies are benefiting from it. So they are doing content marketing and they are getting good amount of business as well in the long run. So the primary advice or the idea behind this slide is that rather than looking at the data that any company can produce and you could not verify it, you should understand that content marketing needs to be done. Rather, you think about a bunch of times and then you take the call whether you want to go after content marketing or choose any other platform as a result. So moving towards this slide, there are a few slides which will talk about how to create a content marketing strategy. So these are the pointers which I would explain in detail, but I haven't put together any data because that could be confusing. So I'll walk you through the data, and that would eventually give you a preferably clear idea about how the content marketing strategy could look like. So first is analyze current state of content assets and target audience. So this is talking about where you stand on any ground stage when you think about starting content marketing as one of your primary sources. So this is why this slide exists, that analyze your current state of content assets and target audience. First thing, when it comes to content assets, it could be your website content, it could be your blog content, it could be the content that you promote on third-party platforms, or it could be the guest blog work that you do on a day-to-day basis or on a periodic basis. So where you have to analyze what kind of content you produce, and the next analysis part should be what kind of target audience you have, and what is your goal behind doing the content marketing. Because first you have to understand what your target audience wants, and then you should focus on creating the content that they would be uh, able to consume in order to what they are looking for. So if I look back on the most post example that I've recently given, then you would find that at that time our goal was that we want to attract some clients or the customers who might be looking at the guest blog work that they might want to do. At the same time, we wanted to share the knowledge that we had, uh, that we were able to acquire while doing same kind of work for other clients. So we had put together that guide. So eventual goal was not to just focus on creating the content and getting clients on board, but the focus was to create the content that could be consumable for a long time, and people or the say, target audience could read it at any point of time they want. So that was the idea behind creating a content asset on Moz, which was very helpful in the long run. So this is slide about analyze current state of content assets and target audience. Moving on, this is a portion where a lot of thought process has gone, where you have to think about where to start content marketing, but at the same time you should also work on putting together a team or an individual who is responsible to create content that you want to promote, or who understands your target audience needs. Because at the end, whatever work you're doing through content marketing or any other process, your goal is not only to do content marketing, but your goal is also to generate some business so that you could also uh, progress in the future that you're heading to. So this is the reason why you should always have someone in your team or an individual uh, who could work on creating content and promoting the same for your keeping in mind that your target audience would prefer to look at it. Next step that you should take is define your editorial strategy. So first, I'll just brief again. So first, when you analyze about your current state of content, you would get to know that your what are your goals. You will be able to define what you want to achieve at the long run using content marketing. So that was the initial step. The next step uh, that you should ideally take is to have a team who could work on uh, or a person in your team who could look at what the target audience wants, and then at the end create kind of content or and as well as promote the content that can help you generate the business in long run. Now, when it comes to defining editorial strategy, why this is needed is you could your team member or you personally could certainly define what kind of content needs to be put together. But in the long run, you if you don't have your editorial strategy in place, you would not have any idea of what has worked for you and what has not. Because at the end, you would also have to do some analysis and find out where your money is going and what is generating you the maximum ROI in general. So this is the reason why you must have an editorial strategy where you could it could be an Excel sheet where there are a lot of online formats available which could give you a general idea about how to create an editorial strategy where you could place your topics, your content formats as well as platforms. So when it comes to topics, uh, that's about what kind of content you want to produce. Like what are, for example, in our case, we had produced the ultimate guide to advanced guest blogging. So that was a topic we had identified, but we were not sure where we would have it placed or where what kind of content it would be at the end. Because when creating content, there is very long process that you have to follow, like starting from research, creating rough content, getting it edited, as well as making sure it is very clear or easily readable to the target audience. So that was the first thing about topic. The next content format, you will be able to like content formats are multiple. For example, blog posts, articles, infographics. Then like the presentations you could create. Then videos are also there. Then guides you could produce, which could include a lot of information and that you could utilize to generate business in the long run. So those are the content formats, and then it comes to platforms where you want your blog to be placed. So that should be also defined. If you don't define it, you would end up placing your content somewhere where there would not be much traction as far as traffic, visits, or the potential leads are concerned. So that's why you must be aware what kind of content you're creating, what format it is, and where you want to place it. So if you decide that you are going to place your content on very high authority site, it is going to be beneficial, if not from the lead generation point of view, it will eventually give you good visibility from your personal branding or company branding point of view, as well as it would generate some good amount of traffic, referral traffic in the sense for you. Now, when you're thinking about content marketing, your primary source of thinking should be that content marketing is not going to be one-time work for you. Content marketing is not also going to be any kind of easier work for you. So when you're doing it, you have to make sure that you produce very high quality content for your users, and you publish the same quality content consistently, because when content marketing is uh, getting placed in your strategy, you're thinking that this is going to generate ROI in the very quick or the short term, like as you used to generate a few years ago. But content marketing is not working that way. It's rather opposite. It works very slowly, but it gives you the best ROI you could think of in your plan that you're thinking to put together. So this is the reason why your thoughts should be clear, and your uh, quality of the content should be also consistent when you're thinking about producing the content and publishing the same on across different platforms. To give you an example, uh, in 2012, I started contributing content in searchenginejournal.com, where the first content was about panda and penguin free link building strategy. That was put together because we had an idea about how the algorithms work, what kind of strategies would be harmful, and what kind of strategies would be beneficial. So, having all those things in a Word doc, we decided that we would produce such kind of content going forward, because in 2012, a lot of businesses got affected because of the Penguin algorithm. And in 2011, again, thousands of websites or the businesses got affected because of Google Panda. So that was a concern where we had thought of creating a lot of quality content pieces, and along with that, distribute the same kind of content across different channels. So first was Surgeon Journal, where we were contributing on a regular basis. Secondly, thought of creating the same quality content and publish the same on our blog, which resulted into really good visibility from the blog content perspective, as well as the guest blog content we had published on Search Engine Journal. Because our goal was that we wanted to make sure that whatever content we produce is helpful to the users, as well as it is going to be beneficial for our target customers as well. So again, to keep in mind that make sure that quality content is being produced and published on across the popular platforms in your industry consistently, and on a regular basis, to make sure that your readers or the visitors are aware about you, that you exist, you produce this content, and also in the long run it could result into very potential lead generation channel for you. Now, a lot of companies I've seen lately, they do understand the content production part, where they create content for their target audience. They understand that the content creation is also required, but at the same time, they fail to promote what they produce, because their goal is that they would create content, and at the end they are thinking that the content should generate some amount of business for them. But they are not thinking that how the content would be noticed by the target audience, because they are not even putting sufficient amount of time to promote the same content. So your next plan, and as far as content marketing strategy is concerned, should be that you promote your content as much as possible, and through different channels. I've covered a couple of here, but you could certainly look at different options in promoting your content, and make sure that it is visible to your target audience. So the platforms which you could initially go after is first social media. Utilize your social media channels as much as you can, and promote the content as frequently as you can to the same channels. Next thing you could go after is email outreach. You could reach out. So email outreach can be done not only the blogger outreach way. It should be also utilized that you create a list of subscribers to your website or the blog, and send over the content that you produce. And then it is paid media, which you could utilize like Facebook ads. Then there are a lot of platforms like Outbrain, which could be used to get maximum exposure to the content you create. So this is a part about promoting the content you create, because creating content is not very difficult. Like creating a website is not difficult, but promoting a website and promoting business is something where your challenge is. So again, here that creating content is not going to be very challenging for you, but promoting it the same and making sure it reaches to your target audience is what is your challenge lies. This is the last and the most important part, like where I was discussing about defining your editorial strategy. So this is where that point connects. That if you have your editorial strategy, you would be able to understand and know what is working for you and what is not working for you. So at the same time, you would be able to measure what form of content or which platforms have generated you the maximum visits, maximum inquiries, or the social shares. So those are the metrics you should be looking at while you produce the content, as well as you track your work in the end. So to repeat again about these points, so first I'll go back to the slides so you could look at them again, or those who have joined later. So first, analyze current state of content assets and target audience. Whatever you're doing, first analyze that work and then move towards the next step, which would help you understand your requirement better and then define your plan as well. Designate a team or individual accountable for content creation and promotion. Here you should keep in mind that you must have someone responsible for your work and the strategy execution as far as the content creation as well as promotion is concerned. Next, define your editorial strategy where the topics, content formats as well as platforms would concern. Here you could utilize any Excel sheet format that's available in Google, and or you could create your own custom format where you could just mention about your topics, the kind of content you're creating, like forms of infographics or articles or the blog posts. And the final thing could be the platforms where you want the content to be placed. So infographic can be placed at multiple platforms, which is fine. But your article and blog post cannot be placed at multiple platforms, so more than one platform. So that should be kept in mind as well. Then is creating as well as distributing your quality content on a consistent basis, where your focus should be you have very high quality content and you distribute and promote it in order to make sure that your target audience regularly notices about the work you do and the level of quality you produce. Promote your content through paid media, email outreach, and social networks. So again, here your focus must be promoting your content as much as you can through different channels that you could utilize available. And then the final thing is measuring and tracking the key metrics that you could define at the initial stage. Because content marketing work must be measured as well as tracked as to what works and what does not. Here, the next portion is about how content marketing works. So we have discussed about the strategy, but it is also important to know how it is working and how it could benefit in the long run. So in between, I just want to know feedback from the attendees that whether I'm going on a right track or I'm doing good. Abbas or and Nick.
Any questions to Pratik? Yeah, you have some questions. You have to read out loud
Yeah,
for sake of
if any,
recording. No,
sure. If any
session is going.
so far
Yeah, it's not a
questions.
question. It's not a question. It's just a blessing that everything is going fine. Amit is asking something. Okay, you have to read it out loud for sake of
Yeah, so
recording.
Amit is asking, is it good to publish quality content to different authority websites, to guest posts or any other medium in today's? So, to answer your question, Amit, it is certainly good to create and publish quality content on different authority websites, but make sure that one content goes to only one site. And as well as your content is in line with what your target audience might be looking for, because at the end your focus should be that you are looking to generate leads, you are looking to generate traffic, or you are looking to generate some visibility for your personal branding as well as for your company branding. Any other questions, or should I move forward with other slides?
Yeah, you go ahead with, if you have more slides, you go ahead with them. If there will be more questions, that they will
Sure.
ask them.
Sure thing. So now we are moving to a section where we would be discussing about how content marketing works. So first slide, you craft interesting and information content or informative content. Uh, about this, so the process is like these are the slides which explains the process. So I would go through all the 5 slides quickly and then would explain or share my thoughts on how it exactly works and how you should be doing it. So first is you craft interesting and informative content. Next, if you promote it well, people might click. That you are crafting very quality and informative content for your target audience, but that content should be consumed by the target audience. So this is, next slide is about if you promote it well. So like I meant explained in the second section about the content marketing strategy. If you promote your content well, people might look at it, people might click on it, and people also go to read the content you have produced. If your target audience likes what they're seeing, they will keep you in mind. So this is what still happens. If I go back to the Moz guide that I produced, if I have to tell you now, it still generates some sort of visits for our website, because the content was informative, the content was helpful, and a lot of readers still find it interesting to read again and learn something if they could. So that's why if they like what you're doing, they will remember you. So that's what is happening with us as well, using the most content we had published a couple of years ago. Now, this is about a portion in the content marketing strategy section where I mentioned about creating and publishing quality content on a consistent basis. So, if you are publishing and creating content on a regular basis, and if you're making sure that the platforms you choose are also of high quality, where a lot of readers are there, then your target audience would also notice you quite often. For example, if I'm publishing my content on search engine journal.com, then a lot of regular visitors are there who are still reading the content that I publish. I used to publish in 2012. I still publish there. So a lot of returning visits you could consider that I'm getting from there. So this is about it. That maybe your target audience or the target visitors would come across your content more often, and they would be interested in visiting your site and looking at what you're doing, what you're offering, or how they could potentially get benefit from your service or the product that they might be looking at. You build trust and relationship with them. This is because you have produced a lot of good quality content. You have helped them indirectly. You're not going to tell them how you would generate traffic or visits for their business, but using your content, your target audience is getting some trust in you that you are the expert. You are creating content that they should be always looking for, that when you are going to publish your next article, when you're going to publish your next blog, and so on. So this is how you build trust and relationship with your target audience. Because it's not very easy to convince someone with your a couple of posts that you are uh, able to help them in the long run. But if you consistently do it, if you be around for them whenever they need you. For example, if they ask you a question on your LinkedIn profile, and if you're not available there to answer, they would think that you are just publishing your content on the sites where they are, but you are not available to answer their queries or concerns. So that's where all the long process goes into, and that's how this trust and relationship building works into the content marketing part. This is the most important thing that happens when it comes to content marketing, or the strategy that you could execute keeping content marketing in mind. That long process is there when you are trying to build relationship or the trust with your target customers. But this is how your ROI would be. So, for example, you start yourself. Or you're representing your company being as one of the experts in the industry. You create thought leadership. The next step comes is you get noticed quite often by your target audience. Then again, they would start trusting that whatever advice or the guidance you are providing to them through your guest contributions or any form of content contribution, they would start to understand that you have the ability to understand how they could benefit from your service. And then at the end, they would start thinking that whether I should contact this company or this person or not. And that's how this cycle would come to this part where when they need your service or your product, they will come to you. They will ask you about what you do, how you're doing, how you could help their business. At the end, the final question would be, how would I calculate my ROI on the money I'm investing behind your services? So this is where your success comes. So a long process, but the success would be certainly very, you could say, lucrative. You could in a very simple word, if I have to mention. We'll move on this section, but I'll answer a couple of questions that have been asked in between. Uh, So Abbas is asking your strategy of outreaching media houses or new related websites. So the strategy is that I do not do cold email outreach. I do like create or build relationship with the editors or the contributors over there. And then I pitch to them and mention that whether they would be interested in having me as a contributor on the site or not. So there would be, I cannot tell that or ask the person that please have me as a contributor, but I would rather request that would you be interested, or do you think I'm a good fit to be a contributor on a site? And then how the relationship building works out, and that's how I've got on all these big platforms. The next question is by Victor. Is it necessary to create a blog inside my e-commerce website, or it's better to create blogs at the special platforms? I would certainly recommend that you create a blog on your website first, and then you think of creating blogs on other platforms or specific website to produce content. Why? Because nowadays it is highly recommended that you have at least blog section on your site, even if your website is one page, because uh, the primary thing that needs to be kept in mind is that your website needs to be frequently crawled by Google, is to make sure that they notice your content, that your work on a frequent basis, and your content also gets indexed in Google on a regular basis. That is the reason that quality content should be produced through your blog, and that also helps you get your website crawled or indexed in Google on a very frequent basis. So that's why I would recommend that go ahead and create a blog on your e-commerce site. And if you think that you have more ability to create more content, then you could also create separate blog website and produce content over there as well. There is a question from Roma. She is not around, but I'll answer it right now. Is it good if we have our own blog and then invite guest authors for publishing content there? Yes, certainly we also do it. It is definitely recommended. If you go to my company website, e2msolutions.com, and its blog, you will find out that we also contribute content from our end. My team also does it, and we also invite guest authors to create and share the content with their target audience through our blog. So it is definitely recommended, and it is beneficial as well, because at the end you will get your website will get new users or new visitors, because the guest authors would also share the content published on your blog with their social network. So they would also generate some visibility for your website, and eventually new number of visitors and the traffic. Okay, I've answered all the questions that are available. I'll move on. Yeah, so this is a section where primary thing, or not the primary, but the most important area comes up, where how do you get people to know, like, and trust your brand? So the slides I've covered so far included how you could do content marketing, how the strategy works, how to define a strategy, as well as how you could potentially get people to trust and build relationship with. So this section purely focuses on how do you get people to know, like, and trust your brand. Whatever I've shared so far is based on my experience, what I've done, and how people are interacting with me. This section is purely for everyone who could be thinking that how they could do the same as well. So this would give you more idea. First, my only comment is I'm not sure in which businesses you all are, what kind of business model you have, who are your target audience, and where you want to promote your content. So I'm not very confident, or I would not be able to tell you what kind of content to create. But what I could tell you is there are two things I would like to share, which eventually would give you an answer as to all the questions that you have about uh, having people to trust your brand, your company, as well as uh, your ability to provide them good service you want to offer to them. So this is about creating content as well as marketing the content. So this first, what any kind of content you're planning to create, or any sort of infographic you're planning to create, or any guide you want to write for your target audience, be first to do it. For example, if something new is coming up in your industry, then keep your eye out. Think about how you could use the same data and produce content or kind of infographic or something else for your target audience, where you could appear that you are the expert and you have the understanding about how the things work, and what level of effects the new things are going to create in the particular industry. Be first in whatever you do and try to uh, accept this and then implement this in your strategy on a regular basis. Second is be different. Everyone is doing content marketing. They are thinking that the content marketing is going well, the content creation they're doing is really good, but how you would be different than others, that also matters here. Because if, for example, if I create a content, how to do content marketing, then on this topic a lot of content has been produced by this date. But if I tell you how to do content marketing for real estate industry, or how to do content marketing for, say, liquor industry, then that would add some uniqueness. That would add that I'm doing something different and sharing my thoughts based on my experience or the understanding about content marketing and how content marketing could work for a particular industry. Then it is a little different. But this also, you should keep in mind that you have to be first and be different in whatever you do as far as content creation and marketing is concerned. Why? Be first. This is an example that a lot of people are doing the same work. You are also doing the same work. But if you're going to be first in whatever you produce, you are going to get good feedback from your target audience. This is a bit unique thing you could see. This is a banner ad that was created by AT&T on hotwire.com, and this generated almost 44% click-through rate, which is not usual. This is unusual click-through rate you could consider, which happened in the past. You could say a few years ago. Today, more people claim Mount Everest than click on a banner ad. So this is a bit thing you could understand that very few people are interested in clicking on a banner ad, but more people are interested in clicking a Mount Everest. If uh, this is the thing, then you should understand how the content marketing in your industry could be. So you have to be first making sure that you create the content that is some unique or new in the market, or make sure that your content goes in line with what your target customers are looking at. Very different. So everyone is, like I mentioned, everyone is writing content for how to do content marketing. But if I would write how to do content marketing for liquor industry, it would give me a little bit of differentiation than what other people are doing in the content marketing part. This is how you being different matters. So this is, I'll share the video link after this webinar, but this is a video created by Dollar Shave Club, which was competitor of Gillette. So this is how the differentiation matters. Gillette, the company founded in almost 100 years ago. They produced more than 500 videos. The total views of more than 500 videos in total is 41 million plus. But Dollar Shave Club, the company founded in 2011, they produced only one great video, which generated more than 18 million views within the short span of time. So this is how you could think how being different matters, and even if you're a small firm, you could beat your competitor being different as far as the being different is concerned. I'll leave this content marketing and the approach work with a very small quote, which was by Andrew Davis. It says, content builds relationships. Relationships are built on trust, and trust drives revenue. So why I'm putting together here is, this tells you a story that first create content. It will help you build relationships. Your relationship will help you build trust, and your trust will help you drive revenue to your business. That's all from me. Any questions or any comments, suggestions? I would more than happy to welcome. Amit is asking how to get more ideas to create unique content in short time in the docs. Finding uniqueness consumes too much time. Yes, finding uniqueness is going to consume a lot of time for you, but at the same time, it will result into very good amount of ROI that your time would be worth it. So go ahead and spend your time into finding unique idea and give enough time to it. You won't be able to find a unique thing within short span of time.
Be creative, be different, which is obviously easy to say than to do, which is
Yeah,
extremely
exactly.
difficult to do. Obviously, otherwise not everybody could be first, and not everybody could be different. It's just impossible. Okay, guys.